What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and if you might have noticed across Twitter that many of your favorite accounts have gone protected lately, privatized their accounts. Almost everyone I see on Twitter now is from a protected account, and there seems to be this general belief that pushing your account into private mode somehow fixes their algorithm. People are actually seeing accounts that they actually follow, and this is all supported by data. And Elon Musk has actually also privated his own account and shared some data, and it looks like there's actually seriously real problems still existing at Twitter, something that most of us have known. It got better briefly, and then it seemed like for a while, hey, I can see everybody again, or it looks like the algorithm's working and people are getting new followers and stuff like that. And then it would get broken again. And then it would seemingly get fixed. And then it would get broken again. And it's basically been like that for the last several months. Twitter is working on many new features, including like emote reactions to tweets, which I think is cool. They also have, a couple other features coming out that we've seen previews for. But for the most part, the basics still don't work. Something is wrong. Elon Musk makes Twitter account private. Previously unknown, quote, trick can vastly improve a tweet's reach factor, users tell billionaire. I don't know about that, because seems to me, it's one of those things where, like, okay, your people that follow you can see you better. Which for someone like, me as a YouTuber, it's like, yeah, I'd like all the people that already see my channel, have subscribed to my channel, would actually see my videos. Or, if people follow me on Twitter. But like, if you private your account, then growth seems like it's going to be much more difficult, because nobody can retweet you. Nobody can quote tweet you while you're privatized. Even Jordan Peterson had a boomer moment last night and was like, man, I privated my account like everyone else and I can't retweet anybody. So, if you look at Elon, his account is still private. By the way, Twitter's also working on ID verification. I saw a little leak about that, so that people actually have like a little ID verified, which I think is kind of cool. It's more for like the bot thing. Someone just 4 hours ago, Niche Gamer wrote, everyone on the Bird app today, I'm going to go viral now after privating their accounts. And then Elon Musk says something fundamental is wrong. And if you look at his account, obviously, I can see him because I was following him already. But if I wasn't following him, he would show up as like a private account, and you might have to request follower approval. And that's obviously not right. If we look at some of the data here, this from Josh Denny, update on public/private profile comparison. The older, quote, Biden tweet was before I set my private profile to private/protected. The code is clearly jacked. People say my engagement is low because my followers must be fake. Incorrect. So first you see this tweet, testing out this tweet, private toggle, received 800 likes to 8,000 impressions. So what? That's like 1%. The Biden tweet from 15 hours before, 1,400 impressions as opposed to 8,000 impressions. That's 5 times the impression rate. The engagement, obviously, far worse, with just 23 likes and 2 retweets compared to 800 likes. Now, it has 0 retweets. So the issue is, like, if I privatized my account, then the people that are following him might actually see my tweets, which would be awesome. He also writes 1% engagement is fairly standard, but to get it overnight is insane. Interested to see how this continues throughout the day. I've spent 14 years building a following, and it's useless with Twitter's current code. People keen to learn what Musk's latest posts for might have been surprised to find this profile had been locked as of the morning on February 1st. Instead of his usual host of memes, Musk's account simply read, these tweets are protected. Only approved followers can see Elon Musk tweets. To request access, click follow, learn more. Musk's decision to protect his profile baffled many on Twitter, who were confused as why regular tweeters would lock their account. But there were others who shared a post attributed to Musk where the multi-billionaire explained his reasons for doing so. Musk, who has more than 127 million Twitter followers, said Wednesday morning, made my account private until tomorrow morning. That's what, Thursday morning? To test whether you see my private tweets more than my public ones. Of course, it talks about, you can go to your dots, setting the privacy safety, go to audience tagging, and then click protect your tweets. It's interesting. According to eMarketer and Intelligence Insider, 368.4 million people were registered on Twitter in 2022. It added to the total number. It added that the total number is expected to fall to 353.9 million in 2023 and 335 million in the following year. Well, of course, people move different platforms. They have, different interests. I think that Twitter needs to add a lot of features for it to remain. I mean, it's still the best real-time source for news and what's trending, but it is absolutely not the best to actually get a hold of your followers. The best tool I have to get a hold of my followers, or people that want to see my content, I don't like using that term, but people that have said, hey, I'd like to see the content, is my email list that's on thecornerin.com and my locals. Like every time I do a locals post, everyone sees it. And the thing is, locals also sends an email. So it's like for people that have the locals app or they get sent to the email, just an insanely high percentage of people see the stuff I post on locals, which is awesome. Twitter still is exceedingly low, has been exceedingly low, with the exception of some of these like Eliza files stuff. Engagement on Twitter is pathetic. I supposedly have 250,000 followers, and it's extremely rare for me to get more than like a couple hundred comments. And that's if I'm literally asking a question. If I'm like, hey, every morning I famously ask, like, what's on everyone's minds for videos today? And people tell me, but it's like 50, 60 tops. I have 250,000 people that follow me. So I suppose for me to look at this, I would much rather, like, growth is important, but it is meaningless if you can't reach the people. So if privatizing my account means I can actually see people and contact them, then that's a far more valuable way to use the platform. It obviously is not a good thing. It's interesting that so many problems exist on this platform. Now, of course, even this is getting politicized. Elon Musk and right-wing friends do us a favor by hiding their tweets. The latest confusion over visibility on the social media platform has led certain loud cranks to silence themselves. Aside from being a huge relief, Musk concealing his epic tweets from everyone but his 127 million closest friends is supposed to be an experiment of sorts. There's a long list of right-wing power users, despite huge audiences and reliable engagement, that have long persisted in their belief that Twitter is throttling their reach. In truth, the platform has always amplified conservatism more than left-wing content. I don't believe that at all. But the right wants more than almost anything to prove they are victims of big tech censorship. Well, they are. And after a brief period of acting like Musk had solved that imaginary problem, they have started to hold him responsible for the crisis of posts not getting liked enough. I got to admit that there are people on the right who are like this. I think sometimes your tweets just aren't good. I do believe that there is and has been levels of protection on, especially on large scale perceived right-wing accounts. However, and by the way, and when we saw with the reporting from Dave Rubin last week, where he said, hey, all these things on your accounts, like previous strike, all these like secret whatevers, they still exist. So if these tags, God, you guys make me self-conference conscious. I'm from Wisconsin. That's how I talk. Dragon, tags. We also drink from bubblers here. Deal with it. You know, like it's although I don't drink from bubblers anymore. Germs, you know. But you know, the thing is, and so a lot of people like, you know, just freak out when they see their engagement post and they rapidly tag Elon like, oh my God, my tweets have, you know, my engagement is gone completely. That may be true in some cases, but also to be fair, there's also times of intense engagement on Twitter when a lot of conservatives are in the current conversation, and then there are lulls. Just like I assume this is similar on the left. When Elon first took over, my engagement was through the roof. That's because I think a lot of right-wingers or our non-corporate bootlickers returned to the platform and were actively engaged in it. Then there was the fact that there was always a reason why these people stopped engaging on Twitter. They just stopped using it. And so they stopped using it, and then people are like, whoa, my engagement's down. Then something big happens, like Trump returns to Twitter. There'll be a huge wave of engagement again. And then everyone will be like, wow, Elon fixed the algorithm. But in reality, I don't think he's really changed much of anything at Twitter and the algorithm perspective. He himself has talked about how the code is extraordinarily complex. So what's more than likely is there, when you go to privatized mode, maybe some of these strikes don't exist. What I'm guessing is the case is that whatever shadow ban stuff and deboosting stuff existed before Elon is still in effect now. He's made no announcement of removing it. So that's like that's more likely what's suppressing people is all these hangover leftover tags and deboost accounts. But it'll be interesting to see if they can connect the dots here and see why that is. And then of course, if they could fix it, it sure would be nice to be able to interact with the people that chose to follow me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you leave a like on it. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.